Yeah.
And we're live. Painkiller Nearly, episode...
So
190
something. Yeah. Right? Anyway, you were jumping right into something, Kyle. Go ahead.
Kyle had a thing, yeah.
Well, I was going to ask when are the kidnappers going to let you go? I see you're at some sort of a scary location there, no doubt being held against your will. I see an AC unit that's just in a wall back there, and it looks,
both of the paintings are a little off kilter.
Yep.
They're not entirely straight. If you had a level, you would see. Were you shocked when you opened the closet and next to the ironing board you saw a marionette doll on a tricycle?
Dude, this is the nicest hotel room I've had since...
Motel room.
I don't think we've broadcasted from a place this
the
nice
finest internet
since...
too.
Oh no, did it go bad?
Oh, just twist the wires.
You just went, this is the finest. Oh, man, like
terrible? I can't. It seems good to me. You guys were fine the whole way.
your copper wires got disjointed. It just says, yeah. There's some meth head miscreant stealing your piping. Oh man, this is like in the beginning of the movie Hostel, where they're like, "Oh, with us girls, you'll go to the better hostel tomorrow." They're like, "Well, I guess we can just for tonight, tee-hee." But it never makes it to the next day. They get murdered.
Yeah.
I like this place. It's not that bad. Like,
what's your favorite feature? No, top 3 favorite features.
Okay, best feature: parking right outside the door. that's a winner. The best feature is that the sheets, this comforter, I'm sure, never gets cleaned, but the blanket and sheets underneath it actually seem kind of nice. And when I got in them and they didn't seem disgusting, I was like, a pleasant surprise.
The last person that died in there was a hooker, and she was strangled to death. They had to wash them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That bedspread looks like it was designed by Ronald McDonald.
Don't look under the sheet. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
See, I don't want any kind of door where I've never sleptwalked, but if I had a sleepwalking problem, I don't want to know that I could accidentally burst through that door into the fucking, parking lot and not even wake up. Just, bits of, what's ostensibly wood on my shoulders and what, like, don't you want to have a nice hallway where you can walk to the elevator and then safely go down?
No. No, no. Is my internet bad again?
It's terrible. It's motel internet.
Well, we can have clean sheets or internet. There's no room for both. He doesn't even know. The sheets aren't even clean.
I did a speed test. It's 2 up and 2 down, which should be more than enough for a Skype call, right? Please, Kyle, you had 2 up on the show for like a year.
But I didn't do video.
But what?
There was no video. That was before I had video.
I don't know if that's true.
All you had to do was support that talking shark head.
Like back in Carnesville, it was like 12 down and like 4 up or something like that. It was
that you could have streamed.
I could stream with 4. In any case, here's the kicker though. It was just me on that connection. You're staying at a motel. Everyone's on that connection.
Yep, everybody else is trying to do their podcast too. Welcome to Serial Killers Monthly.
Just you out there watching Fred. Hey, buddy.
This is a small town in Kansas called Fredonia, something close to that. And I'm worried about, I'd watch enough YouTube videos and streams, and I was like, oh, my internet must be good enough for the show. I didn't think that I was really stressing it that much. Now, I don't know that there's any better options. Like, I can't go to Starbucks. There's no Starbucks here. I'm not sure it'd be any better. You guys can't hear me, can you?
No, we can't. I was looking up where Fredonia, Kansas is.
Ah, it's near the edge, I think.
Wilson County, Kansas. But of course. Where the fuck is that?
I know where you're staying. You're in the Fredonia Inn.
I am in the Fredonia Inn.
I can tell because they were proud enough of that bedspread.
You've always been here, Mr. Woodworth.
They are proud enough of that bedspread at the Fredonia Inn to put it on their website. Oh my God, there is there's a storage unit placed right behind it. So this is where the serial killers can kill their victims there and then store the bodies back there in those storage units. Okay.
One-stop shopping. You city slickers think you got it all figured out.
Kanoko next door? This is fancy.
This isn't close. Conveniently located between Topeka and Tulsa.
See that?
No, I'm just on the map.
Oh, okay.
Oh, but you could pop on over, head on west to Wichita, the cultural hub of Kansas, because Kansas doesn't even have Kansas City. Oh, man. Yeah, you're in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, well, that's like the upside of this place. They call it the endless foot drag. And I was promised that I'd be able to fly like an inch above the ground or touching the ground if that's still flying and go on forever. But it turns out there are power lines everywhere. Everywhere there are power lines. And wow. So it's technically difficult to fly like a few inches from the ground. You have to be very careful. And to do that while on the lookout for power lines at the same time is tricky. But that's what I'm here for.
Sounds dangerous. I'd rather hit a bird than a power line.
I would take bird also over power line. There's not many things I'd choose behind power line to hit.
I got on the interstate the other day, and I was, you're getting up to speed as you get on the on-ramp or whatever, 60, 70. Boom! I hit a bird right in the center of my windshield, and that fucker exploded. There was blood splatter on the windshield. It made like this dusty, kind of mark. Kind of. Oh, I don't know what it was. Sparrows are little hawks.
Camaro.
Oh no, it was in my truck.
Which car? You have two cars. Okay.
Yeah, I was in the truck, and it just exploded. And I look in my mirror, and there's just feathers behind me. It was. I didn't feel bad at all.
Was it one of those times where because I think we've all hit birds where sometimes it's just out of nowhere, just boom, it's almost like coming from the sky, and other times you'll see it on a drift in front of you, and you're you're not gonna hit me, are you, Bert? And then it just catches something and crashes. Did you know it was coming, or were you?
No, it came out of nowhere. It was scary. It was scary. I was, and then
we had an agreement.
Yeah. He suicided right into my windshield. I never saw him coming. Not really sure where he came from. As I looked in the mirror, there were enough feathers behind me that the car behind me did a little swervy thing, but I was steady and true. It scared me a little, but I didn't react, and I kind of got a chuckle out of it. Fuck that bird. Fuck that bird. If he wasn't smart enough to avoid a car.
It could have flown any height from 6 feet in the air up until it dies of suffocating, and it would have been fine. It's its fault. All we're asking for is car level and below on the road from our bird friends.
Yes, you did. And then I brought up that the large beaked birds were the ones that would.
Yes. Now it all comes back. I asked him if I told the white and black wingtip story already. Yeah, I didn't want to retell a story. That would be tragic.
His funny beak joke. And they, it depends whether or not they're white-tipped birds or the beak birds, which one they identify as. It depends.
Mm.
Yeah. But
I think white people get to decide.
Do they?
Yeah.
And I vote for you as the grand arbiter.
I was already voted the Grand Cyclops, so I'll take that title as well. Okay. Grand Arbiter.
Cyclops. You know that other organizations were looking at the KKK and they're like, God damn it, I want to come up with something cool. They took Cyclops, they took Wizard, they took Warlock. It's
Master, right? There's a Grand Master, I think.
The Grand Dragon. We need someone to retake those titles from the KKK. They're nothing anymore. Nobody gives a fuck about them. See, take it back. Take those terms back, like in Clerks. Where
they tried to take Porch Monkey back?
Yeah.
What if we took them and then gave them Porch Monkey? That's what you could be, the Grand Porch Monkey.
Give that to them. I think they're the ones who own that, too. They've cornered the market with a lot of shitty words. Or seemingly they have. So are you flying again tonight, Woody, or are you all just hunkering in to a night of Fredonia?
No, I flew this morning. Then I came back here a little while ago, sort of chilled for a bit, and I'll fly after the show. And we're going out for dinner.
The Fredonia Grill. What is there to eat in Fredonia?
Oh,
there is a Thai restaurant that we're going to.
Oh, I bet that's good.
I'm excited about it.
Restaurant? Shut up. They don't know. Like, shut up.
My friend's girlfriend works at an airport, and that means that she gets cheap or very free travel. And she uses it, like, admirably. Anyway, she flew in from, like, Switzerland today to hang out with us in Fredonia. She'll be here. She's probably just getting there now.
I bet that was not a direct flight.
No, I don't. No, I wouldn't think so. She was in London. It's been morning for her, like, all day. She got up in the morning, and then she called us when it was still morning, and it's probably slowed down since then.
She hasn't. This isn't her first trip to the States, is it?
Oh no, she's from North Carolina. She's really cool.
Oh, okay.
And she's going to dinner with us.
Yeah, because like, I feel like if you're from Switzerland and your first trip to the States, you show up in Fredonia, Kansas, like, it's not even like Colorado where it's like, oh, it's really rural in some places, but there's mountains and whitewater rafting. They'll be like, well, it's really flat and there are a lot of dangerous high voltage lines to fly into.
We have corn.
Yeah.
And
I have not
corn.
Oh, yeah, dude. So when you go to a fly-in, which is what they call these paramotor events, did I break up right there?
No, you're good.
And my favorite part, I think, is watching all the pilots of different skill levels try to launch. We're gonna set up a table with, like at the slam dunk contest when they hold the numbers up, and we want to rate the crashes and put together a compilation video. It should be great. All the paramotors will love this. It could get dozens, if not 100 views.
100 of views. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that should be fun. So they're going to intentionally crash to try and rate their crashes?
No. If you watch people, there's usually a launch area, so a lot of people are launching right there, and there'll be plenty of crashes. It's a guarantee. I wonder, because this one usually a weekend. This one's a week long. I wonder if towards the end of the week, if there'll be fewer crashes because of broken equipment amongst pilots that crash.
Or maybe just fewer participants total. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Larry didn't make it.
Hey, you know what's the name of that game they play in Harry Potter?
The hotel's on fire. No big deal.
No, this is the murder alarm. On your blessing, it's not you.
Hector is loose again.
Crisis averted.
What's the name of that? Kyle, you know about Harry Potter. What's the name of that game where they fly around and they're throwing the ball? Quidditch. That would make paramotoring interesting to watch.
Oh, yeah.
Watching them fly around with like lacrosse sticks and balls trying to play catch.
Flicking the ball around? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or bumper cars, but they're in paramotors. What if these guys were slamming into each other full speed with like a little bit of protective gear, football helmet, maybe and just walloping each other? Oh, or like what's the thing where lances, when they've both got lances and they're going past each other, jousting, air jousting.
Oh man, that video would get a lot more views.
Oh yeah,
air jousting.
You run a man through at 1,500 feet of altitude, and I'll tune the fuck in every time you upload.
Dude, I'd watch that at 5 feet.
Yeah, but
come on, it'd be good.
But at 1,500 feet, the winners are winners, and the losers are dead.
I want them to be able to, in the post edits, like edit in like the falling tragic sound as you see him spinning out of control. I don't want like the like of it just falling 5 feet.
Yeah. Like there should be a very long in memoriam section at the end of the video, like remembering the fallen flyers.
As they drop, you should put the year they were born and the year they died, so you'd know how tragic it was.
They could do it like that Vietnam.
For me, it's more tragic when they're young.
Where they like have it carved in. Except I guess it wouldn't be that big. A lot more people died in Vietnam than would die in a middle of Kansas paramotoring joust event.
Yeah.
And I don't think the government
all but one. If it's a tournament style, all but one would die, right? Because no one's going to survive.
Oh, they're blunted. They're blunted on the end. You're not running them through literally.
1,500 feet in the air. How big a drop can you survive?
Well, you pull your reserve chute, of course. That's half the fun, right?
Unless you're knocked out. Then you plummet.
Well, that's the trick. You aim for the head.
Be quick.
Well,
Most
more or
likely.
less. I bet if you land in like a tall corn, like 7 feet of corn at just the right angle, then you die real slowly.
Mm.
There's no
Destroy
surviving. There's no surviving.
A lot of corn, and you'll actually die
My friend-
quickly because the farmer will be displeased. Come out and shoot you.
My friend crashed last night. We've been making fun of him. There's a trick you can do called a wingtip drag, and basically, you've got your wing overhead, you tilt it on the side and spin in a circle, and the goal is for one of your wingtips to hit the ground. But he kind of transitioned from like a wingtip drag to a frame drag to a knee drag to a face drag, and he's okay.
Well, that's good. Well, you've only had 2 major crashes this trip. I'm sure that everyone will make it out okay.
No, they moved the trip. It's in a new location this year because after the death from last year, they wouldn't let them hold it there anymore.
Ah, so
that's.
So you still got 49 more states to run through. Yeah.
I shouldn't.
And like
I feel
fucking
that.
Utah or one of the Midwest
dead.
states is going to be like, we don't give a shit. Keep doing your thing.
No, yeah, that's true actually, because the guy died at the. There was an event in Utah this year as well, and of course there was a death, and I think they're just gonna hold it again there next year.
Oh, I'm sure Utah. They just be like, but you weren't drinking. And they're like, no. It's like, all right. Well, if you do, 3% beer that costs the same. Yeah.
The Utah story, I think it's interesting to even non-paramotorists. There's a fly-in, so the guy comes to watch, right? He finds it interesting. So he sees hundreds of people flying and stuff, and he's like, "Oh my God, I have to do that." And somebody there sold him some super old equipment that he didn't want anymore. It was kind of ratty and not good. And the guy's like, you should get lessons. And he's like, fuck you, this is America. I'll do what I want to do. And he died like a minute later. He launched, he got in the air, and if you pull the brakes too much, then the wing will stall and you will come crashing to the ground, which is exactly what happened. And then there's a YouTuber who's universally thought very little of. He sells training and he sells equipment. And he's flying around the dead body, being like, that's why you need to get yourself a flat top paramotor. It's the safest paramotor on the market.
Wait.
Get another death. Get training from me and a paramotor from me, and you won't be dead like this guy here in my video.
That guy was
And
at the time he had just died.
Yeah. There's ambulances coming around, and they pull the body on a gurney with the face covered, so you can tell if it's a recovery situation or I guess a rescue versus just transporting the body.
So you're telling me
like, yeah.
So this guy showed up as a spectator, and he thought it was cool, and he purchased some rinky-dink equipment from a guy, and then went paramotoring, and died. We have an image of him right here. Actually, here he is. Holy shit! Here's him right before he took to the sky.
Yeah,
that is
him.
Not regulation equipment. I've seen Woody's set up, and this man is not prepared. No wonder. He looks so happy and pleased with his purchase, though.
That is such a funny fucking picture.
So that, in case you don't recognize him, Woody is Xbox PC Man. His real name is Anthony. He's one of the clowns that games with me a little bit on the Discord. And the other day he did cosplay of each of the 3 of us here, and he didn't spend a lot of time, money, or effort putting the cosplay together. He just got the items and activities that he feels like exemplify each of us, and well, this is you.
You know what I like about it is I'm pretty sure the fan's on.
It's plugged in,
and that's how the trash bag's up in the air.
It's fucking hilarious.
And especially knowing
man.
this probably wasn't the first shot where he was going no, that looks dumb. He's got the fucking cargo shorts on. Oh, it's great.
There's the one of him in his pajama pants, sitting there with a gun and some liquor, just wasted. I guess that's me. Like it's this one, and he has no shame. I'm gonna link it. The best part is this man has no shame at all.
No, it's all for the memes with this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No shame.
That's just supposed to be Kyle with a bottle of liquor and just a bag of Mexican cheese and a tall boy of Pepsi.
Yeah.
And then he did one
Right.
for me.
Yeah, he really had a hard time pulling off an effective Taylor. He's got some whey protein. He's got a beard that he made out of cardboard and then duct taped to his face. And he has a weight.
The sad part is we're doing this on the audio only show, like mostly audio show.
Oh, we can show these
people.
again.
You'll love it.
I want to believe that he went out and bought $40 worth of whey protein that he's not even going to use.
He's getting in shape, actually. He's
good for him.
Yeah, he's been working out and losing weight. I think he's like 280 pounds or something, somewhere in there, 275, and he's been trying to lose weight. He's been riding his bike and jogging. He sends us these little videos. He's like riding his bike. He's like, "Wings is streaming. Let's stop by. There ain't a mod inside." And I'm just like it's middle of the night. It's 3 a.m. He's riding his bike. He's
by himself just in the middle of the night.
Yeah, he's a funny guy.
I'm sad that the Wings of Redemption movement has kind of lost all of its steam with Alexa Pro, hasn't it? Am I wrong? Look, I've been disengaged for the last 10 days or so. So I hope I'm wrong. But in my little lens, my view of what's out there, it just seems like he's, come on, guys, I'm being nice. Stop picking on me. I hate the troll channels. He's just sort of a unenthusiastic victim.
I don't know. We've gotten some good stuff lately. When he went into Sean Ranklin's Discord, he raged at them a little bit. That was fun. He got real upset. The 62 IQ thing, I thought that was good quality content. He was talking about some scientific stuff the other day, and there were little comments like he mentioned that fish don't breathe oxygen; they breathe water. He talked about pharmaceutical companies. I caught him the other day going step by step on how to make different metals. His blood sugar.
Oh, I saw that one.
Yeah,
he was sweating. Kyle, please tell it.
He's gaming poorly, right? He's not doing well at Rainbow, and he's like, "Oh, I'm sweating. My blood sugar's low. I gotta go get some candy." And he leaves the room and comes back with a Jolly Rancher or a peppermint or something. And he's just like clock, 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 really loudly sucking it and clicking it around in his teeth the whole while. And he never stops complaining about the blood sugar. He's like, "Oh, soon it'll take about 10 or 15 minutes and I'll stabilize out. Don't worry, boys, I'll be okay."
He was sweating.
He's sweating.
Blood sugar issues.
He said, "I'm getting dizzy-headed."
The connection here. Oh, I'm feeling dizzy. I need a watermelon Jolly Rancher.
And a chicken pot pie. No, not an individual chicken pot pie. The family. Yeah, come on. Yeah, that'll.
Family kind.
The way that he popped that, hard candy as if it was insulin or something. I guess
it is. Sort of.
I don't have the words for it. It was like it was life-saving medicine that he needed to take immediately.
Yeah. Now people.
It's like in Fallout, where they're like, "Oh, I need to recharge." So you open a Monster Energy and you're like, you then throw the can away and it's like, "All right, I'm back to it." It's like, no, real life's not like that. If you drink a bunch of energy drinks to fix your blood sugar, you're gonna vomit and feel shitty.
He's like a Fallout character eating candy to get his HP up higher. It was pretty funny. So yeah, he doesn't rage anymore, and some people might see that as a downside, but he still does silly things that are entertaining for the viewer. For me, I'm always entertained. And,
I'm sure he still rages, right?
No.
Well, I mean, that's not good for his business for him to not be raging, but that's probably the best thing for his mental health. To not be raging.
I don't know. Any date? Well, he did rage, like I said, in that Sean Ranklin Discord. He got pretty angry and shouted a little bit. But those guys love that. They're like they want that, right? That was pretty interesting. And these pedo accusations, which again are false. I'm sure that those are interesting that he has to respond to that, and so that creates some interesting content, and it's just another.
Is he still responding to it? Is he still talking about it?
He's still playing with the girls. Yeah, he's still playing with the little girls.
Well, that's good, Wings. Don't you get pushed around by those internet trolls.
Right? Right? You don't tell me who my friends are.
So, I don't even want to get into that one. Okay.
She'll be 18 by end of May. Wait, she'll be 18? Like, it's May 22nd.
Yeah. Well, like, I mean, he told her.
One of them will be. Just
like he told her, drive down here to my house. Just drive slow, so you're 18 when you get here. And she was like, that's a 12-day drive. And he's like, yeah, it is. Take your time. You know, it's
just hitchhike on the way. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad he's taking precautions to stay legal.
Yeah.
I approve.
Although I don't know what the age of consent is in South Carolina. Like we've talked about that a bunch, but different states have different laws about like how old the older individual has to be in comparison to the 17 or 16-year-old, and then some states it's just a free for all. You can be like 70 and fuck a 16-year-old or something like that. So I don't know. I don't know what the scenario is, and of course, like we've defined pedophilia before, and that's when you're attracted to prepubescent children. It has nothing to do with 17-year-old probably.
I don't think anybody thinks Wings is a pedophile. Like,
some people do.
People are doing that to fuck with him. Like nobody actually, or at least I don't think they do.
It's a big audience out there. You got, if you had a pie graph, sure, it'd be a tiny normal person slice that actually believes.
Just 1% would be 200 people who think he's a pedophile.
Okay, there you go.
True. Yeah, you don't want that.
You don't want that.
He's your age, Kyle. A little bit older, a little bit younger, right?
Almost exactly. Like I think he's 2 months older than I am, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
doesn't look it.
I mean, I don't know, Kyle. If I had to peg you both, I'd say you both look maybe a little young for your age, which is good when you get to be in your 30s, I think, right? Like Wings, if he wore a hat, he'd look quite a bit younger.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, regarding the baldness thing.
Yeah, because often heavier people, like Boogie got the same thing. Like really heavy people, when they get that old, like they don't look as old until I guess
I was
if you lose
say
a bunch
that
of weight,
actually.
you get wrinklier.
I don't want to call anybody
they don't
out.
wrinkle because they're.
Someone in my
what happened to
family.
fucking Clinton, Bill Clinton, now it became a horrible ghoul.
Now he looks like what he is on the inside.
Yeah, his eyes are so sunken in from all those Mickey D's sneak peek meals when he was jogging in there, and then now Hillary's finally got him on a leash, I assume, and just no more McDouble's eyes. Poor guy.
Yeah, something about being fat enough that your skin is always kept taut, I think keeps you looking a certain age, because it's weird. You never see an old fat person. Think about that. It can be for no other reason than that their skin is staying taut, and thus you don't realize they're so old. Oh wait, they die young. That's right.
But what about George R.R. Martin?
Any day now. Any day now. He may have been dead for a year and a half, right? I haven't seen him on Conan O'Brien lately, right? I just see little tweets coming out of that guy.
He writes at the same pace as a dead person.
But yeah, he really has.
I mean, they keep finding new shit from Anne Frank. Every week, they're I found some new excerpts from Anne Frank. Who fucking cares? Who cares what this 12-year-old person who lived in an attic thought?
She's the Tupac Shakur of the Holocaust.
Yeah.
Right? Just a prolific writer where you discover more and more stuff.
Yeah. What the fuck were they doing? How did they possibly, were they going up to the attic and some German historian guy's we haven't looked up here in the bit. I'm going to go check it out. He goes up. Oh, shit.
Her father edited. Well, her father edited it greatly to take out some of the more embarrassing parts. Shit. Yeah, when she's talking about her clitoris and playing with her pussy and stuff, they took a lot of that out. Anne Frank, An Erotic Journey is my favorite version. It's
an erotic life. Yeah.
Yes, it's a much happier ending as well for everyone. Hitler's there, Goebbels. Well,
it's a much happier. I remember reading that diary when I was I don't know, how old are you when you read that? 13, 14 in whatever history class. And I remember finishing it and for the longest time, because it doesn't spell it out at the end of the diary, Anne Frank and her family were caught, captured, and killed. I was just like, huh, wonder what she got up to after the war. And then like a couple of years later, it's like, oh shit, wow, they should have included that in the book. It would have made it a lot more, impactful. Or I guess they probably shouldn't put that in there if you're like 12. That's pretty scarring, I would think.
I mean, it's history though, right? Like
it is.
Come on, get it. Yeah, 12-year-olds are getting shot at in history class. Like they can handle knowing Anne Frank didn't make it.
Exactly. If they can handle being shot at, they can handle the truth about Anne Frank. Chiz wrote the fourth hole incursion. What's the fourth hole?
The belly button.
Oh. Well, there we are. All right. I was like, man, I've been at this for a while now. I haven't found the fourth hole yet.
It's behind the knee.
Like those ladies with those. You're always talking about those trim, thin, like tight bellies. Ha! You're missing out. You get you a lady with a paunch. All of a sudden, a new corridor opens up.
That's
and your lovemaking. Oh, please. You
I
pull
know.
it out.
I'm just a Puritan of not wanting to fuck a nasty, belly slimy.
You prefer that. Like, that's why she wants you to do it. It's hard to get them clean. When you pull out the rim of your penis head, lint all the way in there. You got to. And when you pull it out, it's like it's all stuck together and it's a little ring around. You just got.
It's like when you clean a dryer sheet and the whole thing comes off in one nice peel.
Exactly.
Well, that's horrible.
It's very satisfying. Yes.
How much would it cost?
I was thinking to myself, like, if she does yoga, like 1 week later, could she get pregnant with that leftover semen that you've been incubating in her belly rolls, Kyle?
I'm sorry. What did you say? Semen in her belly rolls?
Yeah, like if you fuck her belly button and it can't get clean, this much we've established, then it's warm in there, right? Perhaps the semen could live for a little bit. And then when she's doing yoga, as fat chicks do, then she could get pregnant. I'm just tossing it out there.
Oh, if you put a cockroach in that belly button, it would be dead by the end of the day. There's no way sperm is surviving.
I think you're overestimating.
Outside of the vagina pretty much sucks at surviving.
Yeah, you're overestimating the resilience of sperm. I hope. Hey, I had a belly button baby, and it was you, Wings. I'm a belly button baby. Ash, what's wrong with you?
You know what we should do? She's had an idea. On PKA, the big show, we should peel back these sheets and see what the mattress looks like. But I want to save the surprise for the show.
Oh, I like stand it up against the wall so
you've gotten all the sleeping out of the way.
It's gonna look like a modern art masterpiece. There's gonna be
really have to stand it up. I can just pick the computer up.
Technology is with us. Yeah, good call.
Is this the original Hitler? Yeah.
If only you had a black light. Like shine it on there, and it would be probably nothing shows up, but as a bit for the show, it'd be hilarious if you had pre-treated it with whatever shows up super luminescent with a black light, and it was just like the whole thing is just drenched with cum stains.
You could get a black light pretty easily, and then, I mean, it's also, you have the capacity to create cum stains. So
get busy.
You could, like a Jackson Pollock painting. just slap it around. I also want to see what those pictures are. I like how the care you can tell they took with those pictures where they're like, well, we don't want the picture to be too big on the wall or too small or look awkward. Make it exactly the same size as the AC unit. And then
the same picture.
A little bit
it's the same picture twice.
Same picture twice. We ordered too many of the single one. Just put it in there. Nobody care.
So nice they did it twice.
Yes.
Look at that.
Picture.
And
the other picture. Same one. Two times.
Taylor, based on what you just saw, what is that picture of?
That's one of those pictures that, like, as the days go on, you're staying in there, you're going to start noticing additional characters getting closer. You're like, was there always a little boy in this one? And now there's a girl in this. Maybe they aren't the same picture. And then at the end, you're going to be walking to the ice machine to talk to the meth dealer, and you're going to get accosted by one of them.
And then next week, someone will come into that room, and they'll see a little paramotor in that picture.
Yes.
And if you zoom in, you'll just see you bug-eyed, trapped in there forever in the motel picture dimension.
Yeah. Woody's Gamertag,
stayed-
class of '08. You know, just like in The Shining. Yeah.
I stayed at a nice hotel our first night here. Like, there weren't any options. The bad ones were taken. And it was nice. I was like, I can see why people do this. I had previously thought that nice hotels were such a waste of money. You know, you spend, whatever, $700 in a few days, and then afterwards you don't have anything, right? Whereas you can buy things for $700 and you'll enjoy for some time. But the sheets were so clean. And the air conditioner wasn't loud, and I don't know. It was really quite pleasant to live in. I can see why people do it.
You can see why people spend the extra couple of bucks. Yeah,
I always get a VRBO because like the price of a hotel room is often like right around $100 to $125 versus you just get a whole fucking house for like $125, $150 or something like that. And especially if I'm traveling with like 2 to 3 other people, because then you're paying for like 3 fucking hotel rooms, and again, you can get the house for like $200 a night. That'll house that many people. I really like VRBO or Airbnb. I think VRBO got bought out by like Home something or another, and they're all under one big umbrella. But yeah, I'm a big fan. Home Away, yeah.
I wonder
how
if
much,
there's,
just
like,
by comparison,
any place in Fredonia.
how much is the
Kansas.
Fredonia room you're in? Like,
I think it's in the low 60s.
the low 60s a night. How much is like a place with hallways? Like,
I wouldn't
probably
know.
like 80.
How would I
90?
learn such a thing?
That's
I'm not
true.
sure there is. I haven't seen any buildings with more than 2 stories in this town.
Well, optimal for flying then. You would think. Huh. Yeah, I get skeeved out by shitty motels. I don't want to get bed bugs. Like, I don't, if like you do get unlucky and you get bed bugs, it's not like oh well, I'm gonna leave and it'll be fine. It's like, no, you have to purge all your clothes, like get special shampoos or whatever the hell. Like, they're almost like lice. Like, they're gonna follow you. And then if you go home before you do that, pity the fool.
Let's look at some of the other places that Woody could have stayed. Like here, like some of them very nice, and some of them terrifying. All right.
Wow. Airbnb is in Fredonia?
Oh, they're everywhere, baby.
$65 a night with free cancellation. Entire guest house, 2 beds.
What?
A cabin in the woods, campsite, 2 beds, $45 a night, free cancellation.
That the top one there, the let me see what it's actually called. Yeah, the charming, historic, and right downtown plus free bikes is $65 a night. Comes with 2 beds. You've got your own refrigerator, little kitchenette, an air conditioner that's totally from a 1930s sweatshop, and a little desk there.
These are way cheaper than I thought they would be.
Yeah,
Pretty much
yeah.
all of these
I'm
are in
learning
like
something
the
new.
60s.
I'm learning something new. I was under the impression that in Fredonia, Kansas, like Airbnb hadn't reached here yet. But there are a dozen places to choose from.
Yeah. I mean, it's like thinking that YouTube hasn't reached there yet, right? You know, it's like there's no infrastructure to arrive. It's just people are like, yeah, I got a place. And they put it on there, right? So there's guest houses and loft bed and like attached bedrooms and stepmother houses or whatever, and cabins in the wood.
Like,
I know that
everywhere.
it says free cancellation, but we thought that by not doing something like that, we'd have more flexibility because we're following the weather and stuff like that. But the motel cost Chiz asked about $60 after taxes, I think.
They call Fredonia the Atlanta of central southern Kansas.
They do not.
They don't call it anything like that. What is it known for?
Yeah, I
Probably
wanted
like
to
a
see that.
birthplace of a serial killer. Fredonia, Kansas. Oh, they have an official website.
Holy shit! Really?
In the heartland, where pride flies high. And now it does not appear the website's been updated in a hot minute. Probably not a lot of. Let's see where this ranks on Alexa. Yeah. I'm the first visitor since '09. Yeah.
Look at the notable people, right? There's Kendall Trainer. He was an All-American place kicker for the University of Arkansas born in 1967.
Ralph the Hammer Gibson could shotgun 2 tall boys of Coors Light at the same time.
Yep. Born in 1985. Benjamin S. Paulin, 23rd governor of Kansas, represent. Born in 1869. Died in 1961, tragically. Rest in peace.
Man, and you can tell they're really not skimping because they went from George W. Malone, born in 1890, all the way to someone born in 67. And they're having not a lot of meaning after 67, I guess. So if you're from Fredonia, Kansas, your name could be next. You could be next to Benjamin S. Paulin.
Look at their population growth.
Stokes.
Like you can tell that anyone who's born there gets the fuck out as soon as possible. In 1890, there were 1,500 people there. In 2010, 2,400.
You know what I like? Education. The mascot for each of the district's 2 schools is the Yellow Jacket. Both of the schools have the same mascot. And coming to you today for Fredonia, Kansas Yellow Jackets versus the Fredonia, Kansas Yellow Jackets.
That's right, boys. It's the Swarm Bowl.
We couldn't have picked 2 different kinds of bees or something. Well, it was the Great Yellow Jacket Wars of 1896. Both sides refused to back down. You know, that's what the Civil War was over there. Slavery had little to do.
Oh, man. Taylor, did Vegas make the Stanley Cup Finals?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, they did.
I'm out of
Vegas
touch.
In the Stanley Cup
first year. An expansion year.
I'm not pleased with it. If they win, it's going to be it'll be kind of neat, honestly. But also, I'll be like, fuck your team forever. Like, you fucking Vegas assholes. You get a team for 1 year, and you win. Like, there's actually an interesting pattern. Not interesting to Kyle at all. But an expansion team has made the Stanley Cup Finals each of the last 50 years. So in 1918, Toronto did it. In 1968, the Blues did it. And in 2018, Vegas did it. And I hope that Vegas follows our pattern, which is getting really close. And then half a century of failure. So, yeah, I don't know. I want Tampa to win, but I'd be cool with Tampa or Washington at this point. Like, seeing Ovechkin get one would be neat. I assume you want the Caps, Woody, just as like an additional way to say fuck you to the Penguins.
Okay. Can you hear me okay? Because for me, Taylor's frozen. Okay. So I don't think it does say fuck you to the Penguins, which is almost an issue. I want to say fuck you to the Penguins because they're terrible. But I feel like if they get knocked out by the team that wins the cup, they, in a way, are one of second-place teams. You know, yeah, we would have won, but, you know, we happen to face the best one in the second round. I think I'm really going for Washington, though, because I like Ovechkin and I want him to get a cup. I also would like to see Vegas win because it's a neat story to me.
See, I was
Tampa Bay,
Vegas, because all Pittsburgh's fans are on Vegas's bandwagon because of Marc-Andre Fleury being the goalie of Vegas. So that's why I was saying you'd want either Tampa or Washington to win. Because right now, if you go on like the Penguins subreddit, they're all pulling for Vegas for Fleury.
That is a mark against them. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's a big mark against them.
Yeah. Fuck that. All right. Washington.
Great series. Last night was an awesome game. I think Chiz watched it too. But anyway, no other sports. You've been watching, Kyle. No baseball. Not following the Braves. I don't know if they're good this year. I know you kind of followed them a bit last year when they were good.
They're good this year. I think they were bad last year though. They're doing pretty well this year. Wings, I think, predicted them to win the East early, like preseason, and I think last time I checked, they were on pace to maybe do that. So, go figure. But no, I haven't been following them at all. I know a girl that wants to go to a game, so I might go to a game this year because I'm not far from the stadium, and it's a beautiful stadium. So I don't know. I don't really give a shit.
Is Wings a big baseball fan?
He says he's a Braves fan. I don't know. I doubt he's ever been to a game or anything. Oh, he used to play.
You're a Braves fan.
Oh, that's right. Wings kept talking about. Find it for me, Chiz. Please find me the picture. You know the one. He kept talking about how he played baseball as a kid and how he was good at it and on, and how he was the star baseball player and then he's like, you want to see my trophies? And of course, the artist's like, oh yeah, we want to see the trophies. So he goes to the trophy room, and there they are. I hope Chiz finds the trophy room picture because.
How long ago is this?
A month and a half.
Oh, okay.
Because you look closely, and like 90% of them are T-ball trophies. 90% are T. They got like you've got the batter holding the bat. That's the trophy thing, and then in front of him is a little stick with a ball on it. You're like, wait, who are you on the green team? Like what are you bragging about? It was kind of sad, but we all got
green team.
we all got a real chuckle out of it. His green team trophies from fucking baseball. It was another one of those.
He's probably better than me. I play T-ball. Have I told you guys my T-ball stories? I probably have, but oh yeah. Oh, no. I was always striking out in T-ball, and it got to be like in my head, and I partly blame my father. Now, my father was a good father, especially towards the later years. He was a very good father to me, like as an adult, and even as an older teenager, like when I hit 18 and 20 and stuff. But when I was a kid, he just worked all the time. I didn't fucking know how to throw very well. I sure as hell couldn't catch. I'd play catch with my friends to get better, but I only wanted people to throw me grounders because everything else was embarrassing and potentially dangerous. When I swung the bat, I would face the pitcher. You know how you face sideways? You know how to swing a bat. I didn't know, right? And I guess I lacked the observational skills to realize everyone else faced kind of sideways towards the tee.
Yeah,
I'm just swinging.
Twist your body and.
That's not how I do it, apparently.
Oh,
yeah, and sometimes I would hit the tee hard enough that it would roll a little bit. And I never knew if I was supposed to run to first or not. Like, is this roll an appropriate one to run on? Or is this roll too slow? And we're just going to set it up again and count it as a foul. And eventually I learned you just run every time, and there's no penalty for running. But yeah, I was terrible at T-ball. My friends were better, and I didn't like that. It was no good.
All
it's
baseball
a very sad show.
was terrible. I hated playing baseball so much. I hated baseball and soccer immensely. They were so bored. Like, soccer was better than baseball because at least in soccer you could run around the whole time and be moving, as a little kid. Baseball, there was nothing worse than like getting all excited to go up and hit, and then hitting, running to first and be like, all right, well, now I guess I got to wait. Oh, shit. Oh, Ted's up. Ted, and then Steve, and then Aaron. Oh my God, I'm just hanging out here, aren't I? Like that kind of shit.
You steal bases. It's
great. We weren't allowed to steal until you were older. Like at the age of like 6, you couldn't steal.
Oh,
you couldn't steal in T-ball either.
I'm talking really young.
Occasionally, in my league in T-ball, occasionally people would steal, and they make them go back. They're like, you can't steal in this league, and just undo that.
The pitcher was taking a nap. You get come on, get back. He lost the ball. I loved baseball. It was so much fun to play. It was fun to hit. It was fun to pitch. It was fun to. I liked playing shortstop and second base. I liked the throwing of the ball. I like catching. I like running and catching. I really enjoyed it. All the aspects of baseball. I played for years.
How long did you play?
I started with T-ball and I played until high school. I wasn't good enough at that point, so. I liked it. I loved it.
Did you ever play soccer as a little kid?
Soccer was not an available sport for us.
All you need is a ball.
Yeah, and a field.
But there weren't there was no organized soccer game in Georgia, in our region.
In Georgia.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
In all of
no one.
There's a fucking Kenyan school, and we are raising money for a little school in Livonia, Georgia, so they can play ball too.
Right.
Yeah,
There's
no, we
people in
didn't.
Ethiopia playing soccer with a head of cabbage. Yet in Livonia, they can't pull off a league.
Well, nobody wanted to play. It was baseball, basketball, football, the three core sports. I really don't think there was anything else. I mean, you could do track and field, you could run, because that didn't require much at all.
Terrible.
But no, there was in high school they introduced a soccer team when I was in like the 10th grade, and we all just thought it was so silly. We were like, we should all join just for the joke. We should just join for the joke. This is so stupid. Nobody's gonna play, and nobody did. Like nobody gave a shit. Nobody cared at all.
Oh,
It's not very. I did not like it. When I was really young, like 5, 6, and started. I guess I started playing hockey when I was 6, but 4, 5, 6, I was playing baseball and soccer too, and it was funny when I was probably 16 or something. We were talking about how much I sucked at those games. I'd be out in the soccer field just looking for bugs or something, running around. Just I didn't give a shit about it. It wasn't fun. Baseball, same thing. Didn't care. It was so slow, so boring. Didn't hold my attention. My mom, we were all laughing about how terrible I was at soccer and baseball, and she was like, "Yep, your dad thought you might be gay until you went out for hockey and you were really good at that." And I was like, really? He's like, "Oh yeah, your father was so excited when you went out for hockey and were really good at it and you actually liked it." And I was like, "Oh well, thank God something happened to turn that fuse." I just imagine my dad being like, "All right, Taylor, get ready for the throw. Don't you pick that fucking cricket up again."
Oh, that's great. Oh, that's hilarious. Leave the butterflies alone.
Yeah. Stay in position. Stay in position. But the butterfly's over there, and I don't care about this. Oh man, I was so glad to have found hockey as a sport. Wrestling was fun too. That didn't start till I was a bit older, 12 or 13.
Probably
did that.
a lie. Didn't put down your father's concerns of you being gay, though.
But at that point, when I was 12 or 13, I've been playing hockey good enough for 5, 6 years that was past. And wrestling was fun, but then it got to be high school, and it was you have to pick hockey or wrestling. And I'm like, I'm not picking the spandex sport for this. I'm gonna go with the more fun one.
Wrestling should get rid of. I don't know if my internet's okay. Wrestling should get rid of that singlet. That's the worst part of it. I think it hurts its crowd appeal. I think people see people in that wrestling singlet if wrestling happened in board shorts, I think it might be more popular. If wrestling happened in board shorts and I don't know, a spandex tank top or something, the whole thing would be better. The singlets is.
This isn't wrestling. Yeah.
You could make rules against grabbing it. I feel like it's not a big problem in MMA, the shorts grabbing.
Yeah. I don't feel like it would be that much either. And it would make people more comfortable with it, Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, really outcast. Yeah.
Or naked. I would prefer naked wrestling to the singlet, right? Just like in the olden times.
Dick rubbing up against you?
That's part of your intimidation tactic, right?
Yeah, then you have to rub your dick up against him. Show him, aha, you're not going to alpha male me. I'll show you. I'll get hard.
You get him in a north-south. You get him in a north-south position. Yeah, you get him in a north-south position. Just drop the balls right on his face. Just teabag him.
That's 2 points per purple mushroom. That's 2, 4, 6, 8. And that's a mushroom stamp. You're done. Yeah.
What is a purple mushroom?
Mushroom stamp. It's where you take your dick and you slap it on someone's face and make a mushroom stamp.
Oh, I'm like, do you take your scrotum and wrap it over the top? What is a purple mushroom? I'm making up my own ideas.
No, it's one of those things that was always a joke. But if someone was ever like, "Oh, I'm gonna purple mushroom that guy," you'd be like, "What's wrong with you?" No, you don't slap your dick on other people, you maniac. But anyway, did you guys have fun pranks like that?
That would prevent the. I feel like that would make it even harder for the transgender people in the wrestling, though, right? Like if we could see what was going on.
Oh, she's snail trailing him.
Jesus.
Dude, wrestling competitions, the tournaments are being won by guys who identify as girls. Have you been watching this? It happened in Texas. In Texas, I can't believe Texas put up with that shit. They let some dude just claim he's a girl, wrestle with girls all weekend long, and beat them. Fuck?
They drug him behind a truck right after, so it evens out.
Some poor girl, is like, all right, Stephanie, you've been training all year for this. You've got it. All right, you have to go up against
Leroy.
Alex. Okay, formerly Alex. And also, okay, let's see. And then you see the shoulders on the kid, the hands, the musculature, and you have to if you're that biological girl's coach or parent or something, you have to be genuinely mad, or the girl herself. What the fuck? This is not fair. I'm gonna get the shit kicked out of me just because.
You know what I think the move is? I think that anytime that happens, anytime that a transgender, anytime a guy joins your girls wrestling competition, everyone should just forfeit. Just be like, no, we refuse. We refuse to wrestle.
I have a counter move. How about one of the coaches identifies as a 17-year-old girl and knocks him out in the first round?
An age kin.
Yeah. Just get I don't know, fucking Joe Lozon to walk in there and be like, yeah, I currently identify as a 17-year-old girl. Let's go. Knock him out, and then it's
I identify as someone who's not taking your shit right now. So
yeah, exactly.
Jesus,
it's just so fucking unfair.
A biological male enter biological female tournaments. I can't believe people don't universally see that as unfair.
I wish that a guy would every other weekend identify as a woman and then join the women's chess thing and just run the table on all of the women chess players.
Oh, that would be pretty funny. Or
or billiards. Oh, we lost.
I would not have bet that.
Why are guys better at chess? Why are guys better at pool? What it seems like these are sports where the guy advantages don't play in. Is there a tendency to get into stuff?
So with billiards and pool, I never considered that. I knew there was women's and men's, but I never really considered whether the men are head and shoulders better than the women. But I would imagine that your size does aid in some ways, because it's the same size table for both sexes, and the man is able to lean over and get certain angles perhaps that the woman might have to use.
That makes sense.
That thing, I don't know what you call it, that thing they put on the table and
might be called a bridge.
Bridge, yeah. The man may not need to use the bridge in some scenarios where a woman certainly would, because her arms aren't long enough or her torso isn't long enough. But in chess, it's a fucking board game. There isn't men's and women's Call of Duty. There isn't men's and women's Dota.
I think there is in Call of Duty, but there's another one. Why are guys so much better at Call of Duty?
Because more guys play Call of Duty.
Yeah, more interest in it. But the chess one is interesting too. There's men's and women's chess. If there was one that seems like it would be unisex, it's not like chess. A man can be boom, checkmate, or something scarier. No, and darts, that's another one. They do men's and women's darts when it's it really doesn't take much strength to toss that dart. So you think they do that
here? Yeah, it doesn't come.
Yeah, it's not a strength thing.
They do men's and women's poker. No, that doesn't make any sense.
Well, they don't do women. I mean, they might do events that are ladies' night, but men are on average much better at poker. I don't think there's ever been a WSOP female champion. I'm almost 1,000% sure there hasn't. And there's only a handful of good female poker players, and you know them by who they are. Yeah, I used to know them all by name. Jennifer Tilly plays. She's quite good. The actress with the real big titties. She plays on a professional level, and she's quite good.
Yeah, but the whole point being, you can't let biological males enter competitions of any sport where the biological females aren't cool with it, because then you're just ruining all of their fun and competition.
Yeah, definitely so. And wrestling is. I don't know if there is a sport that's more dependent on the musculature and the size of the individual than wrestling. Or
fighting sports in general, combat sports, right? Because boxing's right there. But wrestling probably even more.
I think, yeah, I think that
wrestling even more because like you're a 150-pound man is gonna have a lot more by weight than a 150-pound woman. You know, that's compared. Like women carry more fat naturally. Like,
oh wait. Let's stop on this. I'm 90% sure he just said a 150-pound man's gonna have a lot more weight than a 150-pound woman.
I think he was breaking up a bit, but I think what he's pointing out is that women's body fat is like averaging around 25% or something like that, and men's is much lower than that. So there's more muscle on a 150-pound man, just on average, than.
I was just having fun because I thought he said weight.
Yeah.
Fun.
Oh no, I was saying I broke up for a sec. I was saying what Kyle said, but yeah, not a fair competition. I always put myself in the shoes of if I was that, girl who gets put up against the trans girl, and you're like, is everybody's seeing this right now? Everybody's seeing this. Hey, can you put your hands up real quick? All right, everybody sees that? Everybody sees the difference here? You want to give him a flex? You notice how head taller?
You want to show him your cock? What if you kick him in the balls?
I want to know this. I did this thing that you can see his cock. I want to know, does he actually identify as a girl? Is this a guy who has troubles with his gender identity and such, or a girl, whatever he is? Or is this someone who's just like fucking with all his friends? Like, dude, you know what? I could be state champion in the females division. I'm gonna give it a go. What the fuck? Like, because during the regular season, at least where I'm from, they don't different. Like, girls are sometimes on the wrestling team, like once in a blue moon, but they have to wrestle against the guys. There's not enough females to hold their own league. But I guess for states, they break it up. And I just wonder if the guy was like, I'm gonna go in there and win. Fuck it.
Even like, I don't think they're doing that. Like, I think they're probably, they genuinely are dealing with gender issues and that they just want to wrestle. But it doesn't matter their motivation. Like, even if they're like totally believing it, they can't go ruin their sport.
Here's another solution. Let's say that you are from, what's that city you're in right now, Woody? What's it called?
Fredonia, Kansas.
Yeah, you're in the Fredonia, Kansas Yellow Jackets, and you're going up against the Fredonia, Kansas Yellow Jackets, and they're bringing a trans man. You just get one of your better guys to say he's a trans man and go fight him, right?
The annual jacket off.
Yeah, the next time with the big swarm, you just send a guy too, right? I think that's how to stamp this out. You send your best guy at that weight class, right? And just don't tell him not to shave. Don't shave. No. Don't tuck it. You don't need to tuck it. No, you don't have to makeup. Please, just say you're a girl. They can't fuck with you. Look at him. He's over. Look at that guy. Look at the cock on that kid.
I identify someone who gets to wear rings in the ring. Yeah, it's like or brass knuckles or something. Yeah, that's just not fair. It's not fair. Sporting.
Yeah, absolutely not sporting at all. Like if any, make a trans division, and the three fuckers that are in it can wrestle every year for the belt.
Even then, they'd have to break that up, wouldn't they? Because like if it was like a biological male versus a biological female, like that would still be unfair. They'd have to like subsect it into two groups, right?
Yeah, there'd be two trans groups. There would be trans girls and trans boys, and they would, yeah. And if there's only two in your state, well, it's a 1v1 for the belt, and just make a whole new championship. Do it at the end of the night, and all right, we got one more. Everybody's filing out. We got one more championship fight.
All right, as the janitors are making their way to scrub Ring C, Ring A over here, the local trans boy championship, which is won by default, because just one person. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, just give them make a new trophy, make a new title, just give it to those people. Like, it's just not fair. And I can't. I don't understand how people get behind it. I've seen the crowd boo. And I've seen like liberal news organizations be like, and they booed. It's like, yeah, of course they booed. They just watched a guy beat up a girl for like 20 minutes or something like that because the girl actually held her own for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I think everyone's on the same team with that being
No.
unfair, liberal or conservative.
Oh no.
The far left are not on that board at all.
Get Hutch on this
on
one,
in
Chiz.
sports.
Of these sports, yeah. Because Joe Rogan made this statement, he got a ton of hate from like far left people. Where Joe Rogan was like, "Can we all just agree? Like, this woman Fallon Fox or this trans lady Fallon
What's her
Fox
name?
can't jump into the ring and start breaking orbital bones," and everybody go, "Whoa, this is fine. This is fine. Hey, let me interview the person with the broken eye socket. What was it like? I've never felt strength like that before, and I'm a strong woman." That's a real quote from her. Like,
Really?
there are some people out there. Oh yeah, like, and this woman
I
is
would
like
love
the
to have
toughest
Hutch
of
for
the
this
tough.
issue.
Look at this image. This is a girl who realizes she's made a huge mistake.
Oh my gosh.
Look
She's
at the
pretty
square.
hot though.
Look at the square jaw on that man who is choking her out. This guy's
Wow.
got a superhero jaw and chin on him. He looks like he could be cast for like for Superboy. This could be Superboy. Look at this guy.
That
I like
girl
that girl.
is like has a look of panic in her eyes of like, I know the technique to get out of this, but I lack the physical strength. Like,
She's like, he's hard. He's hard.
I have proof he's straight. He doesn't identify as a girl. He's poking me in the ass.
We'll see. Look, what a bigot you are, Mr. Gamertag. Their sexual identity has nothing to do with their sexual orientation.
yeah.
So he's
saying that there's a
girl.
huge correlation between being male and being attracted to women is bigoted.
Yeah, he can identify as a girl and like girls or like boys.
You're right. I thought I caught him, but that hard-on sticking in her puss is not proof that he's a dude.
Absolutely not. No,
Ah.
it is not. I'd hit him in the balls, right? Like I've already lost. Might as well take the quick disqualification and just fucking knee
Maybe
this
there's
man.
no rule against hitting him in the balls in female wrestling.
There couldn't be because there's no rules. Yeah. Well, there's no rule that says you can't have a dog playing soccer. Your dog is not running around tackling my son. You maniac.
This is my pit bull, Rufus. He identifies as a 17-year-old all-state wrestler. All right. I'm going to release him whenever you say, Ref. Just let me. God damn it, Rufus. Don't worry. I'm going to let you go. Across from him is a trans man. He's just like, I didn't know that there would be a dog. It's not in the rules. So technically, just get ready, son. I'm a girl. I'm a girl. Yeah, it would be great. Just release add dogs to the mix. Add dogs and machines. Maybe someone has a kill bot that identifies as a 17-year-old, 115-pound girl. Well, he weighs 115 pounds. Is it? I saw that on Robot Wars. Does it have a machete that spins on the top of it? Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
But if you get close, it will flip her clear across the auditorium. Go for the double leg. It's spinning really fast. It's got knives on it.
It has no legs. Just a flamethrower and a knife.
With the wedge on the front. I'm fucked. You guys ready? Call it a wrap?
Yeah, it's a show. Yeah.
All right. PKN episode 192.